in the headlines this week before another petit vacances. An afternoon when Ray Parlour would be happy to confirm England credentials and Darren Huckabee to score on his 100th appearance for Coventry City. Lee Dixon, Arsenal's consistent and combative fullback, is 400 ahead of him and takes his usual place in a back four which is 134 years collectively in age and within sight of 2,000 appearances for the Arsenal team. And that team is unchanged from last Saturday's win at Goodison Park and unbeaten for 16 matches. Coventry City's unbeaten run is only 3 matches, but 7 points have taken them 4 clear of the opening trapdoor. But with John Aloisi and Noah Whelan both suspended, they certainly could have done without George Boateng joining Paul Williams on the injured list. They will play 5 in midfield, including the 19-year-old Irishman Barry Quinn, and intend to give it a go. The referee is Paul Alcock of Sevenoaks in Kent. And we're surely looking at the best pitch in the Premiership by some distance, a major plus for Arsenal's challenge to stay at the head of affairs. They would close the gap behind Manchester United at 1 point if they take 3 from this fixture. Dixon's first touch. Arsene Wenger, who wrote in the club programme, the problem about this fixture is that we will be the favourites. Coventry are difficult opponents. Seen by Froggatt. Seaman always looking like the winner, and here's Overmars. That might turn out to be a very useful pass. Overmars. Well, he might have done better. Blind pass by Adams, seen by Froggatt, whose control let him down. Seaman got there first, and the pass set up Overmars, who really should have got something on target there. Some credit to Magnus Hedman coming out with a smile on the face of David Seaman. He almost got an assist of some distance. Adams, almost an extra attacker from his deep position, been involved in a lot of Arsenal's plays. It's Petit! Oh! And he just brushed the far post. Among his many qualities is the change of pace, which all the top international players need. Look at the sudden burst here that took him away from his marker. And just wide of the far post. Bergkamp, Bosnian trying to hold him up. In comes Parlour. Anelka's gone wide to create the space. Parlour! Lovely goal for Arsenal. Bergkamp initially holding things up. Look at the run by Anelka, created the space, and Parlour took to a full advantage with a fine finish. His 5th goal of the season. Timely. For club, and maybe for country. Shaw. It's Pat Rice who's asking Ray Parlour to be showing the sharpness of his nickname. Shouts very well for a man who was 50 this week. What's 50? Here's Huckabee. Well played Adams in slightly unorthodox fashion. Well played Keown, likewise. long legs in the Arsenal team. And Elka keeps onside. Two in the middle, Bergkamp the furthest across. Konjic gets enough of the ball off Anelka. McAllister. Overmars. Space right side. Here's Parler. Anelka in the middle. Bergkamp, great turn. But not, although it seemed likely it would be, not a great finish. Made himself the time. Maybe thought too much about where he was going to put it. Beautifully inside Shaw. Hit on the outside of the right boot, but it was never looking like coming back enough for him. Elfer. Nielsen having to win the ball going the wrong way. In comes Froggatt. Free kick. Froggatt tripped and flattened Dixon. Slip there, all accidental. And Dixon down at the end of it. And unfortunate for Lee Dixon, after collecting a piece of silver for his 500 appearances, is forced to leave the field. And in his place comes Fredrik Ljungberg. Winterbed, staying by Telfer really, who sold himself. Anelka. Konjic. Vieira looks for the return. Overmars. Well played. And a man who shot, man who saved. Good strike by Overmars and turned away by Magnus Hedman. It's more entitled than most to talk about great saves. Parler, blocked by Konjic. Gordon Strachan, watching the first half from above, as is his usual wont. Shaw tried to wait, Anelka. Solveig, good save, and then what? No penalty. They're appealing, the Coventry players, that Seaman fouled Froggatt. What is for sure is an Arsenal escape with a deal of fortune there. There are a few people war watching. You don't often find that from Arsenal. This was an escape. Solveig initially. Froggatt had the ball pushed at him by Seaman, whose legs then really were around Froggatt's body, but no penalty was given. Interesting trap. Played Keown. Parler beautifully away from the challenge. Must be rather frustrating for him in this unaccustomed role, but it's his goal which divides the teams at half-time. Ray Parler's 5th of the season, but an uncertain ending to the half by Arsenal, who had other chances, and Seaman getting away with a somewhat unorthodox challenge, to put it mildly, on Froggatt. But the half-time score is Arsenal 1, Coventry City 0. "30-second meeting between these two here at Highbury, and it's 32 consecutive since Jimmy Hill brought Coventry up to the big time. And Hill's successor, most recent one as manager, Gordon Strachan, now down on the bench. Konjic gives it away to Bergkamp. Anelka just challenged in time. He was concerned it's the sort of game that his team is expected to win and win comfortably. It's not comfortable. Huckabee. Parler all over him, but still Huckabee! It's the one chance he's had in the match. And it wasn't a bad effort. He had to resist the challenge of Parler, which was somewhat all-embracing. Challenge from behind, no, says Mr. Alcott. Anelka. To Bergkamp! Good play by Magnus Hedman, although some goalkeepers would have come hands first rather than feet first. But he's kept his side in the contest. Bergkamp certainly threatened, and the diving goalkeeper feet first blocked the ball away. Bergkamp. Ljungberg. Corner. Barely rose from the turf. And Hedman very happy to turn it away. Ljungberg on the near post, Keown on the 6-yard line, close to him. Not the best of corners, not the best of shots, and Bergkamp, goalkeeper in the, makes an excellent save after the referee got in the way and set up a wall pass. Could have been unfortunate. Well, could be said this is a very good game for Ray Parler. He showed what he could do in attack, and he's shown how much his absence has affected Arsenal's fluency. And he's done tidily enough as a defender. That's offside. Coventry player has stayed down. And the ball put out of play by Parler. And it's Nielsen who needs the attention. Well, who's the more impressed? Grandson or grandma? That's how it happened. Accidental challenge with Petit. And on in Nielsen's place comes Mark Edworthy. Gordon Strachan thinking about adding to his strike force, which has been manned only by Huckabee. Winterburn. Going the long way round. And there is Stefano Giacchini for Coventry and Kanu of Arsenal. And Anelka is given a great reception as he departs. And the reception also welcomes the Nigerian Kanu. Ten minutes remaining. It might be a little nail-biting for supporters of Arsenal. Unless Kanu does another piece of magic, and he might. This is Overmars. He's had to wait a long time for his goal, Overmars. He's had a few that have gone the wrong side of the post for him. But just look at this. Went straight through Konjic. Managed to put Overmars in the clear. And it's 2-0 to Arsenal. The safety margin has been reached. The unbeaten run moves on to 17 games. And his team's little run comes to an end. Well, the expected victory, but Arsenal were grateful for the second goal 9 minutes from time. Ray Parlour, the scorer of their first goal, enhancing his reputation, in part by the fact that Arsenal missed his brightness down the right flank when Parlour had to go to the fullback position with Dixon off the field. Coventry, it was an interesting performance by them, and not least from this young man, 19-year-old Barry Quinn, who, for me, has some future. In the short term, Petit has his rest, but Arsenal go on and have closed the gap to just 1 point at the top.
Arsenal, you expected this to be a difficult match, and it proved to be.
Yes, I expected a frustrating match, and it was one, because Coventry defended very well. Huckabee made a lot of runs. They chased the ball, closed us down very early, and tried to put us out of the game. And in fairness, we kept our calm, and that's why the experience was very important today. We didn't make any mistake at the back. We had a great game at the back, and could score a second goal late, and that was, of course, the 3 points. But it was very difficult.
How much discussion was there at half-time about the penalty that wasn't given?
Well, I was all right, because I've got to concentrate on talking to my players and what they're doing. So that was ignored at half-time, as far as I'm concerned. A lot of the players were grumping and groaning, but we put that aside because that's happened to us so many times this year. So we're getting used to it. We don't like it, and we don't think it's right, but we're getting used to it. So we stuck to our team plan, and then we're talking about it now. And I spoke to Steve Froggatt. He said he was brought down one way or another. I wasn't sure it was legs, arms, anything, but he was going for a header and he was brought down.
If I'm honest, I don't think Coventry had a lot of chances. The second half, they didn't have, I thought, any shots on goal. I think we just should have finished it a little bit earlier in the first half.
Well, it wasn't a classic, Trevor, was it? But Arsenal, they're 1 point off the top, conceded just 4 goals in all their home matches this season. That's some record.
It's fantastic. I mean, they played well at the back, Arsene Wenger. I mean, Tony Adams was superb. Kevin Keegan will be delighted. Martin Keown alongside. They got Petit and Vieira who protect them, don't they? And Parlour tucks in, although he showed his versatility today. Scored the goal, then went to right back. Again, you know, he's got to be in contention for the Poland game. And up front, Dennis Bergkamp's fantastic first touches, some delightful little moves and links, but he actually should have scored. He had 2 or 3 good chances that normally he'd tucked away. They were worthy winners, although, you know, Coventry's sort of frustrated them for spells.
And they should have had a penalty, Coventry, according to Gordon.
Well, that's right. If you play one up like Darren Huckabee, you're looking for a break, and this is it, just before half-time. They'd had a good spell. You know, it's knocked in there. Solbet controls that, and actually then it breaks free. I thought David Seaman might have just collected it. He tries to flick it away, And just watch the legs. I mean, that's the old vice-like grip, isn't it? And that's definitely a clear-cut penalty.
Penalty for you.
Yeah, no question, Paul.
What about Coventry as a whole? Who stood out for you in their team today?
I mean, the spirit's good. They're working hard. They missed the likes of Easy and, of course, Whelan up front, Boateng in midfield. That you can't afford to be without there. But I thought the young lad Barry Quinn, who has only had a handful of appearances, constructive midfielder, only 19. And when you're playing against the likes of Petit and Vieira, it's a big test. But he's got two very good feet, tries to look in through, always looking forward, but he just good change of feet, switched play well, and I felt he just had that little bit of time which suggested, you know, he's got a chance, this lad. Look, threads that one through to Gary McAllister. They linked up well as a pair, always sideways on. Good lesson for any youngster midfielder. Receive the ball sideways on. His weight of pass like that was very good. Again, has a look forward. Can't see anything on, right, let's clip it wide. Again, he spread the play well. So there was nothing fancy, but he just linked play well, and I thought for a 19-year-old, even in here when he gets under a bit of pressure, dinks it, and again, they link up play. I must say, probably defensively, once or twice he got caught out, and then here cushioned that superbly, and just as he wants then to get away from that little trio, Lundberg comes in and makes the tackle, just lacking that little bit of acceleration. But at 19, I was lacking that acceleration. Don't say it at 29 and 30 odd either. But I mean, you know, I think he's got a chance. Yeah, I was in a difficult game. He showed some good touch.
He's not the first Quinn to make an impression for Coventry, is he either? They had
No.
Mickey Quinn a few years ago.
Yeah.
He did well in that corresponding match. Now, what about Kanu? Came on for Arsenal. He's a good man to have up your sleeve. I mean, he showed plenty of skill again, didn't he?
Yeah, well, I think we criticised them, didn't we, earlier in the season? Not enough quality on the bench. I think his, you know, rival, I mean, Derby County in the Cup, Sheffield Wednesday in the league, and here, I mean, just backpedaling, this is excellent skill. Like, he just adjusts himself to do a little swivel and trap it in the right one move. Gary McAllister is strength. It goes at the defence. He's a bit lucky here with Konjic, goes through his legs. But watch the touch with the left foot and then with the right, and Overmars tucks that important second goal away. But I mean, you know, taking Anelka off 2 or 3 times now, and Kanu's gone through that central row. He's outstanding team play. A little drag back there, brings Overmars into it. All right, the opening didn't come there, but he just links up play superbly and getting a good understanding already with Bergkamp. Here again, he receives it, you know, knows exactly where the space is, nicely weighted pass. Bergkamp thinks about the shot, has a look up, and actually he hits the shot well with his left foot, but Konjic on this occasion blocks it. And I think, you know, if you looked at the bench, Bold is there, Meninga, you know, and the likes of Kanu, Diawara, it's looking much better for Arsenal.
Thank you, Trev. There was worrying news for Coventry's Roland Nielsen following that contact with Emmanuel Petit that you saw. The Swedish international was taken to hospital with 2 broken ribs and a punctured lung. He's expected to stay in hospital for 3 or 4 days. Well, Brian Kidd certainly revived Blackburn. Just a point behind Manchester United, who can re-establish a 4-point lead by beating Everton tomorrow. Leeds have reached their highest position this year, but Chelsea will reclaim 3rd place if they win at Aston Villa in their Sunday fixture, and West Ham, as you've just heard, are up to 5th. At the other end, Nottingham Forest are now 10 points from safety. Charlton, who didn't play today, slipped back into the relegation zone. Southampton move above them, as do Blackburn. Well, finally, our man of the day.
Main man in the Arsenal midfield.
It's certainly been a good week for Ray Parlour. His club form has brought him the Carling Player of the Month award, and he's still basking in the glow of a debut for his country.
As soon as I got the call, I was really looking forward to meeting up. I know a lot of the lads anyway, and the training in general was brilliant, very positive. It made us feel positive, and to get my first cap, it was a great, you know, great day for me and my family.
Well, what was it like for you running out in an England shirt?
You know, a bit nervy really. You know, I didn't know what to expect. As soon as I got on the pitch, you know, you don't want to make no mistakes, and you're always going to make a few mistakes. But I'm really pleased I've got that one out of the way, and I can look forward to a few more, hopefully.
Now, when you were with the England squad last week, did you find yourself talking to the United boys about the Championship and their treble and your double hopes and all that kind of thing?
No, I think the you know, club football was put on the side for a week. You know, everybody's together. We knew what we had to do. We got to play well for England. We got to win every game now. Sweden are still doing well. They won their last game, so I think everybody was together, and we didn't even mention that really. You know, probably now we've gone back to our clubs. We've got to concentrate on the league again.
This time last year, Arsenal's charge towards the title became a sprint. They won both of their Easter fixtures, with Parlour playing a big part. This season, they're chasing United and the double once again, and that's going to require a very special effort.
We've got a tough week, you know. We've got Southampton tomorrow, which is always a tough game. We seem to do quite well there every year, so we'll be looking forward to trying to get 3 points. I think it's very vital at the moment. We've got to start winning. Man United got that 4-point difference, you know, so we can't afford to slip up. And then we've got another tough game on Tuesday, Blackburn, which is, you know, they're fighting again for relegation, so they're all tough games. And we've got the big one next Sunday, which everybody's really looking forward to. Should be a great game, and hopefully we can be on the winning side again.
Talk of titles and trophies has put a smile on Parlour's face, but his career hasn't always been plain sailing.
It's a shame about rain.
I don't regret none of it, you know. It's gone now. I'm looking forward to the future now, really, you know, and the past is behind me, so that's all I can do, really, and look forward to hopefully getting a few more caps and being successful at Arsenal.
Parlour's determination to make headlines for the right reasons coincided with the arrival of Arsène Wenger at Highbury. The Frenchman has coaxed the very best out of the Englishman, who's responded with plenty of good old-fashioned hard work.
I would say he has gained a lot efficiency, technically, finishes better, but it's down to him. Not more to his attitude, more than to me, because I think he has the right attitude to improve and he enjoys what he does, that's why. And he has gained a lot through experience in the games.
Arsenal's Foreign Legion have also inspired Parlour and Arsenal to bigger and better things. Both will surely be instrumental as the title race reaches boiling point.
I think there's a really good blend of Englishmen, a couple of Dutch, Frenchmen in the team at the moment. I think everybody's blending together. And the manager's got the right mix at the moment, so everybody has a little bit of a laugh in that as a go when we play internationals and things. But at the end of the day, we're playing for Arsenal Football Club, and we all want to win. So hopefully it can be the same this year, and we can be successful.
What's the difference in Ray Parlour's game this season, do you think?
This season, I think over the last 2 seasons, really, I think certainly playing with the likes of Vieira, Petit, Overmars, Bergkamp and Elka has definitely brought him on. I think also the confidence from being a regular in the side, one of the first names on Arsene Wenger's list when he writes the team list down, and just the fact that his football has blossomed completely, and I think the influence of certain other members in the side and what's happened behind the scenes, people like Tony Adams at Arsenal, and you know, I think in a funny kind of way, right, like Adams has probably been a good role model for Parlour, not what to do at one stage, but what to do for the future.
He could have been overshadowed, you feel, when Petit and Vieira arrived, and everyone was talking about them as the big men in the Arsenal midfield. He sort of gone under, but he said, I'm as good as you.
Well, I think, I mean, for all of us last season, he was overshadowed, but because he was kind of glossed over because of the form of Petit and Vieira, and he was just as good as them. It's just that obviously they took all the headlines last season, and I think certainly if Beckham hadn't been playing so well for England on the right-hand side and supplying those crosses, then I think Ray Parlour would be a mainstay, would have gone and should have gone for me to the World Cup with England. But I think he's now started to score the goals. He's not just, you know, people look to him as just a runner down the right-hand side who protects a full-back. He's creative, he can play in the middle, he can pop up, he can support. And I think just the fact his consistency level over the last 2 seasons, he has arguably been Arsenal's most consistent player over the last 2 seasons and doesn't really until now get a mention for his deeds.
Now, it could be no Bergkamp and no Overmars today, and Southampton away. Is that a potential banana skin?
Well, they're all potential banana skins, aren't they, away from home now when you're desperate for the 3 points because you're looking, you know, what of Manchester United, what they're doing at Wimbledon and
Well, you
things.
think they'd win there, wouldn't you?
Well, I mean, you'd imagine them to win if it runs to form, but Southampton's always been a difficult place to go, and has always been a banana skin for a lot of the sides. I think they've won probably the last 4 or 5 on the spin at home, Southampton. The pitch is tight. Certainly the fact that Bergkamp and Overmars, I think they could probably do without one of them, not maybe 2 of them. And Carnu can come in, of course, so he can play in the Bergkamp role. But I think that'd be one of the hardest games from now to the end of the season for Arsenal. But I would still tip them to win today.
So the situation, Arsenal chasing, and so are Chelsea. It looks like a two-horse race. Luca Vialli's side do have a game in hand, but they have to make up 7 points on Manchester United. And Chelsea will be aware too that Leeds have third place and the Champions League spot in their sights. Leeds at home to Forest today, Chelsea at Charlton. But can you look any further than Manchester United? Who have points in the bag, but it's a hectic schedule. Starting today, it's a guaranteed 11 games in 44 days, although they wouldn't mind turning those two question marks of European Cup finals and FA Cup finals into definite dates. That's a schedule, though, isn't it?
Yeah, well, but you know, if you're successful, that's what you're going to get. And to be quite honest with you, I mean, players are always better off playing than training. To be playing in so many high-tempo games towards the end of the season means you are obviously successful. I think the key, Ray, when you look at that, is the dates of May the 5th, May the 9th and May the 12th, if you're talking about the Premiership. 3 away games in a week. That is the key. You know, Liverpool, obviously, no love lost between those two teams. Brian Robson's team then, the Old Trafford hero, of course, away from home. And Blackburn with Brian Kidd. I mean, those 3 games arguably will decide if Manchester United can win the league. But I still think that, obviously, Arsenal and Chelsea have a really, really good chance. It's not a nailed-on certainty by any stretch of imagination.